Emirates, celebrating its 49th National Day. The next 50 years starts here. Happy UAE National Day.
Happy UAE National Day, the 49th National Day for the UAE, a place we all call our home, and the UAE is very deeply embedded into my heart. I may not be Emirati or my blood is Emirati, but my heart and mind is Emirati. Hope you guys are having a wonderful National Day right here on Future Talk on Pulse 95. We do have a jam-packed show for y'all. And beginning, we're going to be having a competition, ladies and gentlemen, for a chance to win 300 dirhams voucher from Sharjah Co-op. We're going to do a quick little competition. And I do want you guys to tune in and text us in at 4215 Durat Salat, and do have our text lines open and text us in the answer when we do mention the question. So you do need to keep Pulse 95 locked. We're going to have a live in-studio interview with Aisha Al Owais, who is a research assistant in the Meteorites Center at Sharjah Academy for Astronomy, Space Sciences, and Technology, and talking about the ongoing project that the Uae Meteor Monitoring Network. Very interesting stuff to talk about. Also, we do have an interview with Nabra Al Busaidi, who is a sustainability and community manager at CAFU, and talking about the Ghaf Tree Project, which does plan to plant 1 million Ghaf trees right here in the UAE. A lot of things going on today on Future Talk, so keep Pulse 95 locked, because we're going to be right back, and you do have a chance to win 300 dirhams.
United Arab Emirates, celebrating its 49th National Day. The next 50 years starts here. Happy UAE National Day.
Yes, indeed. Happy 49th UAE National Day. It is a great day in the UAE. It's December 2nd, the UAE's 49th National Day. Inshallah, towards the next 50 years, it is Future Talk, ladies and gentlemen, where we give you everything that's happening in space, the tech world, telephones, gadgets, whatever you want that has a computer in it. We're talking about it. And today we are talking with Aisha Al Owais, who is a research assistant in the Meteorites Center at Sharjah Academy for Astronomy, Space Sciences, and Technology. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure to have you on the show. Now let's kickstart this conversation by asking you about the U.S. Space Agency, NASA, and how it does call the low Earth orbit as the space junkyard. Now, what is these space debris kind of composed of?
Well, when it comes to space debris, they're made of two, let's say, we can distribute them into two parts. The first one is man-made debris. The second one is natural debris. So when it comes to man-made debris, those are like satellites, remnants of satellites, materials of spacecrafts, rocket boosters, and systems that are not functioning anymore. When it comes to natural ones, we're talking about meteoroids, which are fragments of asteroids, or they could be smaller pieces of cometary materials.
Amazing. Now, scientists and researchers have increasingly voiced their concern about the growing threat of space debris. Why is it important to monitor space debris in the UAE sky?
To begin with, we monitor space debris, specifically meteors, in the UAE sky by establishing the Uae Meteor Monitoring Network project, which is funded by the UAE Space Agency and operated by the Academy. So the network is consisted of 3 towers distributed in different locations of the country. The first one is at the Academy, the second one is in Al Yaharan Al Ain, and then the third one is in Liwa, Abu Dhabi. And the purpose of that is to monitor meteors specifically from sunset to sunrise every day in the UAE sky, then analyze data and so on.
That is amazing. Now, I believe I read a couple of months ago about how space debris is becoming an issue, especially in space, and we're seeing SpaceX, and Elon Musk was talking about that as well. Now, how often do meteors fall in the UAE, and do they pose any risk to us?
Well, when we say meteors, they are small in size, so they burn up in the atmosphere as they enter the Earth's atmosphere. But there's something that we call fireball. Fireball is usually bigger than a meteor, so it has more chance to not burn up completely and land on Earth. In that case, we call it meteorites. So as of September 2018, that's when we started the project, we have observed more than 25,000 meteors, and a smaller percentage of them are fireballs. Some of them land on sea and some on desert, and this is actually what determines if we can track their path or not.
And if they do fall, what do you do?
Well, Two things. The first thing is when they fall, after detecting or observing those meteors, we analyze them using certain programs. We analyze those videos and pictures, and it provides us with some maps that can help us do extra calculations that will help us approximate the possible landing location. And then a second unit in the Meteorite Center, which is known as the machine learning unit, helps us scan an area in the desert and find those meteorites.
Amazing. I do like what you guys are doing. Now, what is the scientific importance that meteors do hold when they are collected as meteorites? Because obviously, you guys are kind of having your eye on these meteors for a reason. What is the importance of it?
It's important to know that meteorites or meteors, before they enter the Earth's atmosphere, they are considered to be the oldest record of the solar system. So they tell us about how the solar system formed. They tell us about the elements that were there before Earth was there, before we were there. And hence, by studying them and analyzing them, we know about the materials that were there before the formation of the solar system.
Amazing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be taking a short break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into space a little bit more with Aisha Al Owais. But we did tell you guys there's a 300 dirhams voucher from Sharjah Co-op, and the question is, to win 300 dirhams, is what is the biggest emirate in the UAE? Our text lines are open, 4215. Do text us in. During the show, we will announce the winners, so keep Pulse 95 locked, because we'll be right back.
United Arab Emirates, celebrating its 49th National Day. The next 50 years starts here. Happy UAE National Day.
The celebration does continue right here on Pulse 95. We do have Aisha Al Owais in the studio right now talking to us about meteorites and kind of tracking them. Very interesting topic, but don't forget, guys, we are doing a competition to win 300 dirhams voucher from Sharjah Co-op, and the question was, what is the biggest emirate in the UAE? Our text lines are open, 4215 Salat. Do text in for a chance to win 300 dirhams. We will announce the winner later in the show. Welcome back, Aisha. All right. Now, talk to us and go back and talking about how do you use machine learning when it does come to meteorites?
Well, there's a subfield of machine learning called deep learning. This technique utilizes something called neural networks. Now, those neural networks in deep learning was inspired by the networks we have, the neural networks we have in the human's brain. So what happens is we develop an algorithm using that, and then we train it on a data set. The data set is basically a collection of meteorites, and on that, I'd like to say that we have the largest meteorite collection at the Academy. It is composed of more than 3,000 meteorites and 8,000 other objects, which includes something called tektites, which is a combination of meteorites and rocks sampled together. So after training the algorithms on the data set, there comes the testing phase. With the testing phase, we deploy those programs on a small computer, which is hand-sized computer. And then that computer, along with the camera attached to it, is carried by the drone. We set the path of the drone in a given area, most probably in a desert. And then that drone, along with the small computer, which has the brain, scans the area, and then it looks at the objects and tries to identify them if they are meteorites or not. So by that, we narrow down the list of, for example, 20 possible meteorites to be to 10 possible meteorites to be, which facilitates the process for us.
Yeah, that's it. Do you guys wear protective material when you go in the area where the meteorite has fallen?
No, not really.
Okay, is it like the movies, like they have that hazmat suit on and they go in, or is it not?
No.
It's not.
It is much simpler than that. And on that, we see that the majority of meteorites fall in desert locations. How can we tell? Before determining where a meteorite has fallen, first of all, we have 3 towers, as we mentioned. Now, in order to identify where a meteorite has fallen, first of all, we need it to be big enough, a fireball, and we need 2 towers at least to observe the same meteor. The Liwa Tower, compared to Al Yahar and Sharjah, observe the most number of meteorites or meteors compared to the other two towers, specifically more than Sharjah. Why? That is because the tower in Sharjah is located in the university city,
Yes.
and hence light pollution is a big reason behind the low number of meteorites or meteors in Sharjah compared to Liwa.
So we could see maybe in Maleha meteorites falling.
Yes, you can see it wherever you go as long as you're away from city lights.
So I wasn't imagining when I would see things fall in the sky. Because I'd be like, hey, I saw something.
I saw a shooting star. That's
And
how
they were
we
like,
commonly
"Man."
call it.
Yeah, it's a shooting star.
Oh, by the way, we're in December now, on the 12th, 13th, and 14th of December, and specifically on the night of the 14th, meaning 13th night, we will observe the Geminids meteor shower. Geminids refers to the constellation Gemini. So at that time of the year, in about 2 weeks, we will observe a large number of meteors coming. So if you want, go to the desert on that day to observe those shooting stars.
What timing? After 9 p.m., 10 p.m.?
After midnight, preferably.
Yeah, after midnight. And obviously, you don't want a lot of light pollution, so you can see
Yes.
them falling down.
Yes.
Amazing. Now, I find it very interesting talking about this, and I'm really invested into the technology and space. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm very big on aliens, right?
Okay.
But the question is, in your opinion, how does the UAE encourage students to explore the space sector?
Well, now the UAE has many institutions related to space sciences, space technology in the field. On school levels, we see that there is often competitions which give students the chance to come up with something, come up with a project that can be utilized for space exploration. And sometimes they do for them training programs. They teach them how astronauts live on the International Space Station. And when it comes to university levels, for example, the University of Sharjah is now offering for the first semester, Masters in Astronomy and Space Sciences, which is great. So if anyone is hearing us and would like to know and apply, they can go to the university's website and apply there.
Amazing. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much, Aisha Al Owais, for taking time and coming on the UAE National Day. Happy 49th National Day to everyone celebrating it right here in the UAE, local and expats alike. Again, we do have a competition going on to win 300 dirhams from Sharjah Co-op. Our text lines are still open, 4215 Durat Salat. Do text us in. The question again is, what is the biggest emirate in the UAE? Thank you so much, Aisha.
You're welcome. Thank you.
United Arab Emirates, celebrating its 49th National Day. The next 50 years starts here. Happy UAE National Day.
Happy UAE National Day, everybody. The continuation of the celebration does continue. It's the 49th UAE National Day. During the show, in the beginning of the show, I did ask you guys to text us in at 4215 Durat Salat for the question that will win you 300 dirhams from Sharjah Co-op. And the question was, ladies and gentlemen, what is the biggest emirate in the UAE? Now, we did have a interview with someone who didn't answer that question, so let's hear it first before we announce the winner. We have another potential winner for the 300 dirhams voucher from Sharjah Co-op. Let's go over here and see who she is. Hello.
Hi.
How are you?
Fine.
Okay, what is your name?
My name is Noor Yunus.
No, okay, Noura Yunus. Noura Yunus? Now tell me, how long have you been living in the UAE?
From since I was born.
Since you were born. Okay, that's great. Do you shop at Sharjah Co-op?
Yeah.
You do. Okay, well, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. And if you get them right, you have a chance to win 300 dirhams voucher from Sharjah Co-op.
Thank you.
Great, you ready? Are you ready? Okay. Now, the first question is, what makes you special in Sharjah? What is special in Sharjah?
Everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Okay, that is amazing. Now, I want to ask you a question. What is the biggest emirate in the UAE?
Dubai.
The biggest emirate in the UAE?
Abu Dhabi.
Abu Dhabi. Are you sure about it?
Yes.
Is that your final answer? What emirate are we in now?
Sharjah.
We're in Sharjah. So you're sure that the biggest emirate is Abu Dhabi?
Yeah.
Okay. She's sure, ladies and gentlemen. So let's see if she's the winner. That is your final answer.
Yeah.
And you are correct. Congratulations, you won 300 dirhams voucher at the Sharjah Co-op.
Thank you.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to shop.
Okay, congratulations. Happy National Day. Let's go and see who the next winner is. Yes, Cindy, let's go see and who the next winner is. And we have the caller on the line. Ghazan, welcome to the show.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. It is the UAE's 49th National Day. And we have Ghazan Far on the line with us. Calling from where, Ghazan?
I'm calling you from Sharjah. Happy National Day to you.
Happy National Day to you too, Sharjah. Okay, sir. Now you were tuning into the show and you did hear the question. The question again, one more time was, what is the largest or biggest emirate in the UAE for a chance to win 300 dirhams voucher from Sharjah Co-op?
It's the capital of UAE, Abu Dhabi.
Are you sure about it?
100% sure.
100% sure. So that is your final answer. You're locking in that answer for 300 dirhams from Sharjah Co-op.
Yes.
All right, brother. Drum roll, please. Brrr. You are correct. That is right. Abu Dhabi is the largest emirate in the UAE. Congratulations, Ghazan Far, for winning 300 dirhams from Sharjah Co-op. Congratulations. I think he got a little bit too excited. And ladies and gentlemen, the competition does still continue. Do text us in on our text lines throughout our shows. Omar Ad-Douri is coming up in a bit. Keep Pulse 95 Block because we'll be right back.
If you liked this episode of Future Talk, drop a like and subscribe.
Pulse 95.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram for all our daily updates and top stories.